Let's talk about the government shutdown. I'm pleased to say that joining us now is the Senator from Louisiana, the Republican chair of the Senate Health, Education, Labour and Pensions Committee, Senator Bill Cassidy, joins us now for more. Senator, welcome to the programme, sir. Welcome back, I should say. There is a take on Wall Street that we've seen this movie before, that we get to the inevitable pressure points and the government reopens. You've done this for a long time. You've had this seat for 10 years. Senator, does it feel different this time?
It feels a little bit different because there's a complete breakdown of trust. Chuck Schumer, obviously he could end it tomorrow if he wants to end it, but he doesn't trust the president. That said, Chuck Schumer could end this tomorrow. I'm hoping that he does, and I'm hoping it doesn't take a lot of pain from the American people in order to get him to do so.
Is there a breakthrough in the fact that, and good morning, Senator, that it does seem like both sides, at least at this point, want to talk about talking, as Politico put it, that the president is coming out and saying maybe there could be a compromise when it comes to health care?
Yeah, I'm absolutely. You know, it's better to jaw than to war, as Winston Churchill once said. So let's go ahead and start talking. That said, Republicans have suggested a 7-week extension of the current budget to allow dialogue to continue. And that's commonly done, as Chuck Schumer points out, happened 13 times under Joe Biden. And so that 7 weeks kept the government open, allowed us to continue to negotiate. So I think there's something else that Schumer's thinking about. Not quite sure what it is, but I'd rather be talking than kind of sitting in our own corners.
What is going to happen, though, at the end of the year when we get this premium hike?
Well, first, we don't know a premium hike is going to occur. Let's just say that. But secondly, we've got to address the fact that the Affordable Care Act has become the Unaffordable Care Act, in which it takes huge subsidies in order to continue to make those policies affordable to Americans. That's wrong. We got to roll that back to a point where it's still affordable to Americans, but it doesn't require these huge subsidies. This is not sustainable. But by the way, it's not just me saying this. The Washington Post had an editorial about how the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. So I think now might be the time. What can we do to help the American public lower health care costs in a way which is not just for the exchanges, but for those in the kind of private markets as well?
Could you get a compromise like that before the end of the year?
I sure hope so. But first, you got to reopen the government. We're actually asking for, okay, how can we do this? How can we do that? The government shut down, so we can't get some of the information. The 7-week extension of the current budget allows that to happen. And so I'd ask Schumer to reopen the government. In the meantime, I'm certainly committed to how we can lower health care costs for all Americans. It's what I've been doing my whole life. And so let's get on it.
Senator, when it comes to moderate Democrats, do you see any willingness of some of them to join the three that we have seen sign up and vote for a clear stopgap funding measure?
I've not spoken to any of them personally. You'd like to think so. One more time, we've just asked for a 7-week extension of the current budget, which was done 13 times under Joe Biden. And so I would hope they would, because this is inflicting pain on the American people, but we could be talking with each other without a shutdown. I think this is a political response by Schumer to pressure from his left wing, but it should be pressure from the American people, keeping the government open while we continue to work to lower health care costs.
Senator, the White House is still operational and they've been making moves. I wanted to squeeze this in because I know you're a busy man this morning. Trilogy Metals, in early trading this morning, is higher by more than 200%. The announcement that the US will be taking a 10% stake in the Canadian Minerals Explorer, leading to a big rally on the stock. Senator, can you give me your opinion, your perspective on what you think of the party moving towards something that smells a little bit like central planning?
Yeah, I'm a little bit personally concerned about state-owned enterprises because it's a slippery slope. At first, you're a passive partner. It's one thing to have a position in the stock market, or it's another thing to have a timed exit. After TARP, there were some positions that the federal government had that was a timed exit. That's okay. But having a long-term interest, I think there'll be a future Democratic president who will be tempted to go a little bit further. We should definitely get a return on our investment if we end up bailing somebody out. Absolutely. But on the other hand, I'm a little bit nervous about taking positions that go beyond a timed exit.
Well, what do you make of the fact that the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party, is the party doing this and supporting state capitalism?
Yeah, so I think the president, I can't speak for the president, and the Republican Party is a diverse organization. I'll say that as well. I'm just speaking for Bill Cassidy, and I am a conservative. And I'm a little bit nervous when government ends up owning the means of production. When that happens, sometimes the government ends up dictating to the means of production what to do. For example, keep employment up for political reasons. I'm nervous about that. Maybe the president's got a great plan. It's one thing to be a passive partner, to own stock, we have a timed exit, et cetera. Another to be active. Now, I will say the president's specifically saying will not take a position on the board. That's my understanding. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. But still, I'll put all those caveats out there.
As a senator, does it concern you that the executive branch is going one way and not consulting you and your colleagues?
Ultimately, we have to recognize that executive orders have been put there, and the presidents can do kind of what they want with an executive order. But obviously, the problem with that is that when a new president comes in, she or he, so far just he, can immediately reverse all those. So you want legislation that will actually put in place for certainty for business and for labor that plan for the economy that goes forward. So everybody understands executive orders are powerful, but they're temporary. I would suggest that we're going to have long-term certainty. We need Congress to weigh in.
Senator, before you go, can Tigers football get back on track?
Can who?
Can Tigers football get back on track?
Oh my gosh, I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. We have a good game that's coming up with South Carolina. I'm always hopeful for the Tigers. Go Tigers.
Ole Miss on top of the SEC. Senator, appreciate your time. Thank you, sir. Senator Bill Cassidy, thank you, sir.